Hello, I'm Ricky Lee, and today on the watch list, I'm joined by Scott Ellum, CEO of Connecting Excellence Group. The company has kicked off the new year with the launch of XCE BTC, a first of its kind Bitcoin bond, adding a new layer to its professional services and capital strategy. It's a distinctive move that's already generating plenty of investor interest. Scott, welcome to the watch list.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, Scott, for those who may be new to the story, can you give us a quick overview of Connecting Excellence Group and its core business?
Yeah, so XCE, Connecting Excellence Group, we are a Bitcoin-powered international executive recruitment company. So what I mean by that is we have within the group a flagship operating business called Spencer Riley that's been operating for over a decade, placing senior and executive level candidates around the world in traditional markets such as professional services, logistics, life sciences, engineering. So non-correlated with Bitcoin itself. And 4 years ago, we began accumulating a private Bitcoin balance sheet. We've now moved into the public status, and XCE Connecting Excellence is the group topco that owns Spencer Riley. Our plan going forward is to access capital markets and increase Bitcoin per share for our investors and use the public status and the Bitcoin balance sheet to be able to issue share options and equity to allow performance-based share options for staff, which just allows us to create a talent attraction vehicle. Because in our industry, the way in which you scale, the way in which you grow is to attract revenue-generating, high-performing executive recruiters into the group. So we'll expand on that, and we can also move into allowing other businesses who are competing with us to join the group. And that's our aim, to increase Bitcoin per share and increase operating revenues and profits as a result of that balance sheet.
Brilliant. And you started the year strong with the launch of what you're calling a first of its kind Bitcoin bond. Can you explain how it works and what the company is aiming to achieve with it?
Yeah. So if you think about the Bitcoin treasury strategy, we're a headhunting business that works internationally. So we've brought on board Vijay Selvam, who's ex-Goldman Sachs and chief counsel on a NASDAQ-listed Bitcoin and digital assets exchange. Richard Byworth, who's ex-Nomura, managing director for Southeast Asia and ran their convertible bonds, derivatives and futures desk. And the reason I mention them two is they were heavily involved in the design of these bonds, and they're a first of its kind around the world. So if you think of the Bitcoin treasury side of the business, there's a raising capital and buying Bitcoin aspect to it. And we've gone from 9.27 Bitcoin at IPO on December the 11th to 41.35 Bitcoin now, with the lowest average purchase price, I think, around the industry of $80,000. And we're holding £3.8 million worth or dollars worth of Bitcoin. The bonds, the opposite side of that, we're able to use these XE Bitcoin bonds to welcome Bitcoin in from institutions who are holding significant sums of Bitcoin, who want a way to be able to buy the bonds, see the upside, which allows the bonds to convert into shares when our share price outperforms Bitcoin, but protect themselves from the downside as well, in that they are 0% bonds, they are 12-month maturity on the bonds, and we sell these bonds at a 30% premium. So they're beneficial to shareholders and very attractive to bondholders who want to see the upside on the Bitcoin that they have and want to protect themselves on the downside. So we charge 2% if they were to reach maturity and be redeemed in the Bitcoin. But at 120% of the conversion price, they are able to be soft called to convert into shares on our balance sheet. So beneficial for shareholders, attractive to bondholders, and part of our Bitcoin strategy to grow the balance sheet and increase Bitcoin per share and the Bitcoin that we actually hold as a business.
So then a key question for investors, I guess, would be, does this bond program lead to share dilution? And under what circumstances would the bonds convert into equity?
So if you take, for example, we have a key strategic investor called Adam Back, who they have a NASDAQ listed business floating soon with, I think, 35,000 Bitcoin on it. So if you look at institutions around the world that are holding significant sums of Bitcoin, these bonds are designed to only convert when our share price is outperforming Bitcoin and they are sold at a 30% premium. So they're designed to make sure that there's no circumstances in which they would convert and not increase the Bitcoin per share for our shareholders. So if you like the term accretive dilution, in that when those shares are converted, it means every shareholder's exposure to the underlying asset Bitcoin has increased. So we see them as very positive for shareholders and very positive for bondholders. And I suppose conversion, our share price outperforming Bitcoin and those converting reflects success, growth, stronger fundamentals in the business, strengthens our balance sheet, and then allows us to attract more operational growth as well on the other side of the business, which is, I suppose, if you like, a more traditional business that's growing. And that business has grown at 30% revenue per annum, but we're hoping to accelerate the growth from this point forward.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Scott.
Thanks, Ricky. Great to speak to you.
So once again, that was Scott Ellum, CEO of Connecting Excellence Group. For more on the XCE BTC initiative and the company's broader strategy, visit xce.io. That's all for this episode of The Watchlist. I'm Ricky Lee. Make good choices today.